What's up, everybody? Gold Champ here. Wanted to talk a little bit about a job I was just going to, a video I was excited to make that is now a live chat about not getting scammed. So, was on my way to a demo job today. Somebody who claimed to want concrete torn up, some busted up concrete. They wanted it pulled up and disposed of at their rental property. Well, I got myself ready, got my stuff, even started recording some clips. I was going to make a nice little video about it. Kind of had a feeling about this one. Wasn't really sure why, but so I went and I knocked on the door, and the tenant was actually the homeowner and had never heard of this person who was supposedly the landlord and owner of the house. And the rest, you can use your imagination. She was a very nice lady. Uh, wasn't upset at all. She was just glad that I knocked on the door before I started breaking concrete on her path at her front door. Um, so there's some lessons to learn, probably a lot of lessons to learn from something like this. This isn't the first time I've had things like this happen. Uh, you got to do everything you can to confirm that things are what they really appear to be. Like the obvious, knock on the door. Knock on the door and talk to the person that's actually there. Don't just assume because some dude sent you text messages to your business line and act like he's legit that you know everything about the property and everything about the job and just start chopping stuff up and taking it away. I have a feeling that that lady would not have been so nice if she walked out her front door and found me with a concrete saw and a skid steer pulling up her concrete path. She'd have probably been a little upset with me about that. And we'd have probably found ourselves in some kind of a lawsuit. And rightfully so. You don't just go ripping up people's concrete. So, a few things about this one. The only real red flag, because there are tons of out of town real estate investors. We speak with them on a regular basis. We do work for them. That's really not an issue. This particular person, after I asked them some questions, didn't have a business. This was a personal project. Okay, that's fine. Some people own rental properties in their own name and don't have an LLC and all that. Not a great idea from what I understand. I'm not a real estate expert, but you're setting yourself up for potential liability issues. So, but that's fine if that's how he wants to run his rental properties. Next red flag, I gave an estimate based on the approximate square footage and told him I would give a final estimate in person, and he wanted to pay up front. He wanted to mail a check to our address, and we don't take checks, for one. For two, we don't take advance payments. I think this is a good example of why you don't take advance payments. Um, Taking advance payments, I think, is a huge mistake for different reasons. For one, it plays right into a scammer's hands. It makes it really easy for them to. I've had people. I can't even remember exactly how they phrased it, but they were essentially trying to convince me that through some weird roundabout scenario, they needed to send me 5 times as much money as we wanted for a job. And then we were going to send them back the remainder of the money due to some complete nonsense they made up of why it had to be done that way. I'm like, oh, okay, this is not a real job. This is a scam. Well, yeah, something similar, I imagine, was what would would have happened here. It would have been, oh, I'm sorry, we sent you a check for $5,000 instead of 500. Do me a favor and just deposit it and wire me back the rest, or something like that. Well, I told him we don't take checks, and he wanted to pay in a different way. And I told him, well, we do ACH payments for our commercial clients. Oh, okay, that's great. Send me your account number and your routing information, which I, of course, did not do. Don't do that unless you are very sure that you're sending it to someone who has a real company. Even real companies can still, screw you out of money. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Even a major corporation can stiff you on a bill if they think they can get away with it. But you got a much better chance with a company that you can research and determine is a real company. But so that's one more reason not to take, or that's one reason not to take advanced payments. Another one is that what if you get there and it's twice the size you thought it was going to be? You've already been paid and they don't want to pay you anymore. I already paid you. You said it was going to be this much. You don't want that. What if you get there and you do a bad job? They're going to want their money back. Then you get into that whole back and forth argument kind of thing. You don't really want to deal with that either. What you also don't want to deal with is the bad review that's likely to come with something like that. I paid him in advance and he came and he did a terrible job and he wouldn't give me my money back. Your company's going to go downhill quick if it is built on a foundation like that. So you definitely want good reviews, and you definitely don't want to take advance payments for that reason. So those are just a couple of lessons to be learned from something like this. Don't assume you know what's going on. Don't give out your bank account information. Don't take advance payments. And don't rip up someone's concrete unless you know for sure that they want it gone.